Happy Tuesday and welcome to Madeline's Life Management. Today we're going to be talking about planning. One great thing about lists is being able to get all of the things that you're trying to remember out of your head and onto a list. And this for me really helps and allows me to focus on what I'm doing currently because I don't feel like I have to remember all these other things. I also have designated lists by my bed for, those times in, excuse me, in the middle of the night when, you have an idea or you remember something on your to-do list. And then you can just, roll over, write it down and go to sleep rather than be like, okay, I have to remember this. I have to remember this. I have to remember this. For me, it's like keeping your house organized and neat. It's a self-care routine to not have to store everything, to not make this a cluttered and stress-filled place, but rather to get it out of your head onto paper. Routines and habits where you're looking at those daily and periodically to see what's on the list so you're not writing things down and then forgetting about it. Also, clean those out. Make sure to go over them periodically and cross out, rewrite the list so that also isn't cluttered but organized. One thing we do is we have a list on the refrigerator. And every time we're out of something, like this morning, we were out of almond milk, we just write that down and then whoever goes to the store grabs the list, gets everything on the list, and then also what they were getting. I also have a schedule up there with the days of the week, and I write down what we're gonna have for dinner so that Blake's never like, am I gonna eat? He's like, oh, okay, I see that this is on the schedule for today. And then I have another one with where I can jot down, it's just a whiteboard where I can jot down what I'm doing, where I am, if something's, if I need to leave a little note. Another big thing with planning, especially when you live with someone, is to have a big calendar on your wall so you can coordinate your schedules. So one thing that Blake and I have done is we literally have this huge calendar and things that go on that are out of our ordinary. So we don't put like work on there, or I wouldn't put my workout class, that's more personal planner, but things like we have a wedding to attend, or Abby, Molly, and Macy my cousins are coming down this weekend, or what we're gonna do for July 4th, stuff like that we'll put on the big calendar. And so we can look at that and see, okay, I can't make personal plans that day because I have a plan with my husband. It's also so important to have one static location for all important documents. For me, especially with moving, and now we're, starting to get bills in and such, we have kind of a tote with all the important documents like how to work our coffee maker, things like that maybe you're not going to review every day, but that you want to keep just in case. And then we have a little box for really important things, like if we get a wedding invite, if we get, since it's after our wedding, we're getting cards with like money and stuff. So, okay, a thank you note will be written for that. So I put it in there so it's all in one location. And then if Blake's like, hey, have you seen this document? I'm like, yes, it's in that tote. So also I don't feel like I have to go through things and decide their importance. I can just put them in the tote and it looks clean, it looks organized, and there's never any confusion on where a document or piece of paper is located. Another really important tip that I've found myself using quite often is not trusting my memory. In the moment when, let's say I schedule a chiropractor appointment, I think I will never forget that it is next Monday at 4. But then I won't remember. So trust me, write it down, put it in your planner right away. I always carry my planner in my bag with me along with a pad of paper for those random things that you need to remember. And just write it down. You won't remember. It's important in the moment. It's in your head in the moment, but 10 minutes later, there's going to be something new in your head, something new that you're doing. So I always thought, oh, I can remember, I'm young. No, I would forget like little things like, oh, I have this homework assignment. Well, I do all my homework assignments. I'd be like, I know there's something I needed to remember, and it's the worst feeling. So write it down so you never have that feeling. You never think you're forgetting something. You have it all there on pen and paper, and you can just review your planner and feel like there's nothing kind of floating that you need to catch. Another thing that Blake and I do is that we utilize our fridge, our walls. I have here ceiling, but we haven't done that one yet. When I was young, we would post, I memorized James for a mission trip, and I put it on my ceiling. So before I went to bed, I could read through it. And then when I woke up in the morning, and it was a great utilization of space. And one thing that Blake and I do here, I'll show you. We have, these are our lights. I love them. They're so pretty and twinkly. Okay, so over here we have our, also I'm gonna get a light for here, but I have my cleaning schedule. We have our planner with both the things that we're doing together. And then over here, Blake has organized this into events and appointments, things to do, things to get, things to do, and lists. And with things to get, it's things like desk, couch, which we got both those things, so I'm gonna erase those. But like knife set, we registered for all the important stuff, but we forgot a knife set, because you don't really want to ask people to get you a knife set, you know what I mean? This I do very easily, and I love doing this. And this is to trash unimportant or finished documents or lists. I love cleaning my space. I love throwing things away, getting rid of things. So I go through, and I organize them. And if they're still important, I'll leave them. And otherwise, I'll trash them. And so that way things don't get cluttered. I'm not the type of person that keeps like letters or anything, except I do have a few from Blake that are really sweet, like one he gave me on our wedding day and stuff like that. So yeah, throw things away. When you're done with the list, throw it. When you're done with this, just keep throwing things away. And also, sometimes this is really important also in your photos on your phone. I take tons of pictures of recipes, and if I have them down in a different location in my recipe box, I'll delete them. Or if I've made them and they're not that good, I'll delete them. Or if I've made them and they're great, I'll record them in my recipe box and then trash them, delete them. Because then you don't get really clogged with, because you're never going to go back and find that recipe. You just aren't. It's going to be too stressful. You know, it kind of blends in. You want pictures. You want meaningful things on there. So I love my calendar, planner, lists, schedule. All those things are so important. And when planning, okay, so now I'm just going to quickly go over things in my life that I utilize that are so important, that I love. And this just is kind of to give you ideas about ways that you can plan and organize and schedule in your own life. So like one thing I have is a food schedule that I previously mentioned, where like it'll say Monday we're having this soup, or Tuesday we're having zesty barbecue chicken, or things like that. So you always know. And then I have a cleaning schedule for myself, and this is wonderful because I'm never overwhelmed with housework, and our home continually looks organized, put together, and clean. And so I'm never stressed when people come over. And also I feel like this is for my home, I want it to be welcoming, inviting, peaceful, clean. And I want this to be a stress-free zone for Blake and I. So that's my target. And to do that for myself, I need it clean. So I have a little cleaning schedule that I love. I then have a static schedule with like work and gym for myself. And it says, I wake up at 7 every day. And so it says, wake up at 7 and then, work from 9 to 6. It says like leave 8:35, gym at 6:45, like things like that are static. I have there so I can always say, okay, if I'm planning 3 weeks from now, I know that I won't be able to do anything until after 8 on Monday, kind of stuff like that. We also have a household calendar where we coordinate our schedules that I've talked about previously. I have a personal planner that I carry around that has my static schedule on it. And then also I can put in things like chiropractor appointments and stuff like that. We have a grocery list on the fridge, which is awesome. And we have a to-do whiteboard, which I showed you previously. And then, I have a little notebook thing in my purse for bills, for my budget. So I do the budgeting in our household because Blake is in med school. And so it's just kind of something that I can do to make his life easier. Also, I love budgeting. It's so fun for me. I love the numbers. I love that type of stuff. So I do the budgeting. And I carry around this so I record all the, money we're using and stuff like that and kind of figure all that fun stuff out. Also have a bill schedule. This is so important and it will give you such peace of mind. If you can, have one day where you pay all your bills and put like 30 minutes just to pay bills, or an hour, whatever it takes. Give yourself that time. Schedule it like a job. Get a cup of yummy coffee and get a something, and do it and make it part of your schedule, part of your routine, so it never becomes overwhelming or stressful. Also, paper by bed. I mentioned this earlier. Always keep a pad of paper and pen by your bed, so when you remember you have to do something, you can jot it down, look at it in the morning. It's not stressful. Or even if you have a great idea or something fun or a weird dream or something you want to tell someone, write that down too. Don't tell them your weird dream, but So anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next Tuesday.